Alright, hi everybody. Welcome to another late night stream of DayZ. Of DayZ, no. Yeah, I was actually considering doing DayZ, but somehow finally I felt more in the mood to do UBOAT again. So, this is one out of the line stream. Usually I stream on Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. And if I have the chance to stream on the other nights of the week, I usually do something else than U-Boat. But yeah, tonight as you heard, I was considering DayZ, but yeah, somehow I returned to good old U-Boats, and here we are. So, welcome to this simulation to slip into the role of a German submarine commander in Second World War. Hey, Elsalet. Yeah, I remember that I was not quite sure how to pronounce your name. Sorry if I mispronounce it. Welcome, welcome. Nice to have you in. I just started the stream. And yeah. Yeah. But that definitely sounds like I wasn't doing it correctly. But pretty hard to transmit it in a written way, how to pronounce something. Yeah. So we are still in the Mediterranean, and we are in the end of January 1944, which means that we are already more than 4 years into the war. And that's what I'm actually doing. I'm doing a complete playthrough of the whole war campaign, having started in September 1939, on the eve of Second World War, just before the raid of Germany towards Poland. All right. Yeah, okay, you have to work tomorrow. I'm in the lucky situation that I can sleep a little bit longer tomorrow. That's why I do this Wednesday stream. Usually I don't stream on Wednesdays. Yeah, but actually, my last weeks and months were pretty busy on the job. Maybe in the next, say, few weeks it might become a little bit more quiet, and I might stream a little bit more than I did the last weeks and months. So, as I said, I'm doing a complete playthrough through the war, which is quite a bit of an effort. We started that one, I think, something like a year ago in real life. And since then, I share just any mission one by one with you, my dear Twitch community. And since a while, I also do upload these streams afterwards to YouTube. And even there is a nice little community watching my streams. Hi there, guys. It's a pleasure to see that, yeah, my videos do arise some of yours attention. So I think I mentioned it already. We are in the Mediterranean. We have had quite some adventures already behind us. I've been sharing with you the very beginning. We started in the port of Wilhelmshaven with the Type 2 small, tiny submarine, and did these missions in the North Sea and some in the closer Atlantic. Finally transferred to La Rochelle and got promoted. Got the opportunity to command Type 7, and this gave us the chance to reach further into the Atlantic, and finally, by the help of the so-called milk cows, supply submarines where we could pick up fuel, we were able to reach the other side of the Atlantic and do missions there. After successfully having finished them, we did the Arctic Convoys mission, which is pretty tough. And having done that, we turned towards the Mediterranean, where we are right now following this mission set. And as you see, we are less than 10,000 tons away from completing the whole thing. So let's see what we can still do. We were on a patrol mission. We already fulfilled it. We had sunk already plenty of tons, more than 10,000. And well, while we still have a few torpedoes left, I am reluctant to return home. Here we still have some torpedoes, a fore and a stern. We still have both. And yeah, that's the situation. Discipline is okay. Fuel is still almost 70%. Food is alright. Well, we could make sure that we don't run out of food in the galley. And maybe I would even transfer a third type of food to the galley, which would increase discipline, but also increase the overall food burn rate. So that's the situation. And at the moment, we are following a contact that we had. So at the moment we are going flank speed right towards that contact, and my usual tactics now is to go for 1 hour and then do a next dive and do a next hydrophone check. If that contact would be an ordinary merchantman, after 1 hour it should be somewhere on that circle. So doing the second hydrophone check should yield us finally their course, their heading, and yeah, their speed roughly. So let's do a little bit of time acceleration. So I didn't track the actual time when we ran into that contact. It was the stream a few days ago. So yeah, we had the time shift, so the change of watch is at different times actually. Not 10 o'clock, but probably 11 o'clock. Hey, weight loss. Nice to have you in. How are you doing? So, I am doing an extraordinary mid-week stream, but yeah, I already said it before. Maybe I'm gonna have a little bit more time in the next weeks. So, at the job, I was pretty busy for the last weeks and months. So I only did my standard streams Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Maybe I could be able to stream a bit more for the next time. Oblivion, nice to have you in. Good evening, how are you doing? Armada, okay, yeah. The Hunt for the Bismarck, yeah, okay. Yeah, these battleships. I mean, looking back, they seemed a bit weird. So quite a few of these battleships were sunk, like they were attracting all the attention of the enemy. Yeah, Elsalet, alright. But yeah, great that you dropped in. And have a good night. Would be very glad to have you in the stream again, maybe in the next days. Definitely streaming tomorrow and the days after tomorrow into the weekend. Have a good night. So what was I just about to do? I did once. I actually have a video uploaded to YouTube where I sang the HMS Nelson, I think it was. But that was the only time that I did sink a capital ship. And it's quite some time ago. It's quite some time ago. So I usually don't go for capital ships and stick to the merchantman. Talking of merchantman, let's do the hydrophone check right now and see if we can pick up a signal again of that guy there. And fingers crossed that it's not just a fisherman. Was it? Is it Nelson? Let me check that briefly. I'm not quite sure anymore what the name of the battleship was. I have it here. Ah yeah, the sinking of the battleship HMS Nelson. I have uploaded that one to YouTube, but it's quite some time ago. Here I just check it, it's 2 years ago that I did that. Right now I'm in the Mediterranean. Yeah, my last mission set that I finished was the Arctic convoys before I had been over on the other side of the big pond. And after the Arctic convoys, I went to the Mediterranean for the very first time. I'm playing this game since years, and only now I am in the Mediterranean for the very first time. Exactly, yeah. Exactly, off the coast of Libya, yeah. Now, let's see what we hear. Oh wow, plenty of contacts. Only this guy seems to be missing. Okay. So seems like I had that contact before. Whoa, then this is really a slow mover. Definitely a fisherman. What do we have there? Let's mark it on the map. And what else do we have? What's the distance of these two contacts? Interesting. So we have these contacts, but no successor of that one. Wow. Wow. Pretty busy around here. And what about you? How fast are you going? That's a merchant, pretty sure. Ah, okay, but hey, you mean in real life? Yeah, to Malta. All right. So, may I ask where you live right now? Let me see. Where do we have Malta? There it is. Yeah. Ah, Canada. Okay. So the Western Canadian area. So you are a not a French, but mainly native English speaker, right? And yeah, on Malta, if I have it correctly on the radar, on Malta, they do speak English as well, don't they? Oh yes, the west part of Canada. I would love to get there once for hiking. Ah, yeah, yeah. I guess that you learn French probably almost as good as you speak English, probably, right? Yeah, nice about German. I kind of always like to hear that people in other countries actually still do bother to learn German. Hey, Nico, nice to have you in. By the way, once more, thanks for the follow in the last stream. Pleasure to have you in. Yeah, we have plenty of contacts at the moment. And this one here actually looks like it's a real merchant. This contact here has been moving so slow that it pretty much looks like being a fisherman. About the other contacts, we are still unsure. Ah, that's interesting. But I would have guessed so. So I find French much harder than English, but I could well imagine that German might be even harder than French. Yeah. Okay, so no any signal of this guy. Don't quite understand that. So I think I'm gonna try to catch up with this guy. That's the most information that we have at the moment. So here we are going. Hey, that's great. All the people in the stream were actually giving word in the chat. That's just great. That's great. Yeah, that would just be great if all watches would be like that. Yeah, apart from the fact that I love gaming and love to share it, I actually am a big fan of a random dinosaur. Yeah. I'm a big fan of streaming because it's that nice opportunity to have a chat with people which are actually an ocean away. Like you, Oblivion. No. Let's take a look at the time. It's 10 past 10. I have changed my mouse. This mouse is slightly broken. Yeah. So, 1 hour will bring us roughly there. And let's extrapolate about these guys. So they would be moving for another, 7 miles then. Let's see if my estimation is correct. Yes, I actually did watch the match before I started the stream. So I was somehow in favor for England. Would have loved if they would have made it. But yeah, in the last, say, 30 minutes, they were really, defensive. So finally I would say it was a well-earned winning for Argentina. The Kingdom of Spain versus themselves. Yes. Yeah. Yes, then they woke up, yep. There was this first goal pretty much in the beginning, but in the second half, I mean, particularly something like for 30 minutes before the end of the match, they were really, the English, they just tried to kind of, build a wall before their goal, but that opened up the opportunity for the Argentinians, Messi and the guys, to get good shooting opportunities. Yes, yes, that's it. Yeah, that's this long-term animosity between these two countries, yeah. And I think it's still kind of, cooking. Now, let's do a little bit of time acceleration, 1 hour. When do we get the change of watch? Probably at 11 o'clock. Yeah, looking back, when was it? In the 80s. That Falkland War, that was something weird. So 1 hour would be 10 past 11. Let's do the next hydrophone check. Yes, they looked pretty exhausted in the end, weight loss, yeah. So they didn't really go after the opponents anymore. They didn't really, that pretty much looked just in something like the last 10 minutes after that second goal. They were a bit offensive again, but offensive, it's the right word, I don't know. So now contact. Okay, that's the one that we were missing. But if it's only there after 2 hours, we can be pretty sure that it's just a fisherman. All right. Good to know. I just wonder why we didn't get that contact on our last check.
45 Meter. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Torpedorohr 1 gewartet. Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 135 Grad.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. 50 Meter.
Yeah, not quite sure about that. Let's do a bit of time acceleration. Okay, chiefs and petty officers. Yeah, okay, that's a good hint. You mentioned that before, right? I think I remember that in the beginning it looked alright, but that's always the tricky thing about the mods, that sometimes you get the bad effects only after a while.
55 Meter.
Hey, come on, there were more contacts. Please show me.
50 Meter.
Particularly, I would like to get a follow-up contact from this guy. Yes, yeah. Yeah, okay, you say it makes it too easy, but on the other hand, I understand that you also said that it's too much micromanagement. Did I understand that right? Random bugs, yeah. Ah, yes. I'm so glad that this kind of watch system and this automatic scheduling of jobs, that this works so fine. So if this gets broken, it's a pain in the ass, yeah. Hey, come on, where is this contact? It can't be gone.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff.
Alright, yes, there he is. So that's definitely a merchant. Very good. Very good. Moving with 7 to 8 knots. Yeah, let's finish the hydrophone check. Maybe we would still have word of their position. We will see. We definitely have one guy which is worthwhile to chase down. So one more hour and this guy will be there. One more hour for us. We
Aktuelle Tiefe.
will be
45
there.
Meter.
Kurs setzen.
25 Meter.
Okay. Yeah, but
5 Meter.
do you actually have additional people? It's not like that some of your crew turn into petty officers, but you have them additionally. And any problems with the bunks? By the way, let's give it a save. We didn't save since the start of that new stream, W484. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah, okay, yeah. So what is it? The petty officers are line officers, and the chiefs are kind of technical specialists? And the engineering officer would be the equivalent to Klaus Wennemann, to what I used to translate as chief engineer, the LI, Leitender Ingenieur. That would be the engineering officer, I guess. So I always did it wrong. Ah, okay. So it wouldn't translate to bosun. Yeah, okay, yeah. So he calls it chiefs in the mod and not bosuns. Don't they use that term anymore? Back to the surface, and let me do. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I see the concept. Yep. All right. So it's petty officer and it's chief petty officer. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you're right. From that point of view, it's a bit weird. Yeah. Right, here we are. Do we already have smoke on the horizon? Yeah, of course not. So, let's do another hydrophone check.
50 Meter.
Hey, of course you can. Of course you can ask a question. That's why we do have the chat. To be honest, I didn't experience that. Like here, when I sink a single merchantman, it's not like that I have automatically turning up another ship on the scene.
25 Meter.
And I never saw that survivors were actually rescued by other allied ships. Maybe you are playing in a different difficulty setting. Like, you could actually introduce
45 Meter.
some kind of scripted encounters, and maybe you get something like that.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 160 Grad.
50 Meter.
Yeah, yep.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff.
Yep.
Peilung 145 Grad.
But this is only the case when there are other men of war around.
55 Meter.
And like here, for these lonely merchants, you don't have it. But yeah, in principle,
Herr Kaloin.
to chase you down, yeah.
50 Meter. Herr Kapitän.
That's these guys. Well, let's mark it. But
55 Meter.
you can ignore them. They are fishermen, I guess. And what else? There was one more contact. Okay, what about you? Was it 2 or 3 hours? Not quite sure. Yeah, but well, let's get that. Let's keep them on the radar, but for now we are chasing down this guy. Move it along here. Yeah, I think so. I think so. If you are in a densely populated area, that might happen. Yeah, I remember those events. Yeah.
Ja.
Any more contacts?
Wartet.
Anblasen.
30 Meter.
Yeah, I haven't been in British coastal waters for a while, and I think this is an indication that the simulation is maybe best polished in these waters, and it would be pretty great if you had these kind of mechanisms also in other areas of the world. Hey, hey, Captain Adonis. Nice to have you in. Thank you very much for the raid. So, how are you doing? How was your trip going? Did you sink a few guys? Yeah, I usually don't stream on Wednesdays, but yeah, tomorrow I can sleep a little bit longer, so I can do a little bit of late night streaming. Yeah, some Brits, yeah. Merchantmen or men of war? So here we are back to the surface. 1 more hour and this guy would be roughly there. 1 more hour and we would be here. Having caught up with them on a distance of 7 miles, that should be alright. And it's lunchtime, so this is gonna be a daylight encounter. Oh wow, yeah, that's tough. I mean, so it slipped away, or did you finally get it? That would be annoying. Yeah, a while ago there was this update of the mechanics so that these guys actually do have some, yeah, kind of torpedo netting and particularly thick, how would you call it? Thick plating. I sank a battleship. I just checked it. I have uploaded a video of me sinking a battleship on YouTube, and just before I checked it, it's something like 2 years ago. So since then, I never tried to. And this update, I think it was a few months ago, right? And since then, it must be even more difficult. And so I think these 2 years ago, it must have been easier to sink a battleship than it is now. Yeah, the carriers. Nice, yeah. Yeah, okay, so lucky hit then. Now we might have eyes on the smoke column. Yeah, we have. So, what about the binocular? Ooh, yeah, nice. So that looks pretty straightforward. So we could even approach that one on the surface and try to scare them off the ship and make them abandon their ship. Or shall we try to torpedo it? The problem is we don't have any deck gun shells to sink it if they try to flee. And that's why I maybe would prefer to go towards them sneakily. Because if they would not react on our threats and abandon the ship, we would have it double difficult to sink them when they are once aware of us. So they are roughly where I think them to be. Can we go like that? Let's give it a save before we do it. Trying to overtake the guy and sink it then sneakily with torpedoes. That's my plan. Alright, we are putting ourselves in a good position for a nice torpedo.
Kurs setzen.
I think now we can go on a perpendicular course. There he is. How far away are we still from their line of the keel? Yeah, I think this is the right point in time to go for periscope depth.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Taubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 75 Grad.
Alarm. Handelsschiff in Sicht. Peilung 80 Grad.
Come on, guys, you can step away from battle stations, and we're gonna reduce speed.
Voraus.
Yeah, pretty sure the guy is a
Taubengeräusch.
Empire Tower.
Peilung 115 Grad.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
No auto alarm. Yes. Yeah, is this existent? Or did you just invent it? Is this really? Is there really this kind of mod? Would be nice, yeah. Yeah, great. Yeah, there is really no reason to go for alarm in such a situation. Yeah, but on the other hand, it doesn't do too much harm, does it? Ah, okay. No spoilers. So you have to figure it out by yourself. I like that one. I do have a list of recommended mods here. I'm gonna put these two, particularly that no spoilers. I mean, the alarm is something, yeah, that's not a game changer, but the no spoilers mod. I like that one. Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. There are so many beautiful mods. So the good thing is, when you do recommend a mod, I can be pretty sure that you did check it quite a while and that it's rather safe to use it.
Navigation besetzen.
Ah, please, man, the torpedo calculator and Mr. Arlas, I need you to improve the depth keeping. So now Mr. Arlo's gonna turn up to do a little bit of smart assing in the backs of the sailors, assisting them to keep the depth without broaching the surface. By the way, we could check what the maintenance status is. So 1 and 2 will definitely need maintenance. Mr. Grade, you can also do some maintenance. I think I could just stay here. Yeah, let's give the save once more. And let the guys come close.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Heilung 90 Grad.
What's the velocity? 7. The velocity is probably 7. Right, there they are coming in. Closer and closer. So it's 70 degrees, like when it's a triangle with one 90 degrees angle, the two others must also sum up to 90 degrees, like here. So this is 90 degrees, so the angle between them and us here. So if this is this, like, let me put it like that. Let's assume that the ship is there. Then this is our triangle, and this angle plus this angle is 90 degrees, or other way around. This angle is 90 degrees minus this angle. So at that point, the angle on bow must be 30 degrees. And the estimated distance, 2 miles, yeah, which would be 3,200 meters. That's always a bit ugly that we have the miles on the map and here it's meters. Hey, oh, sorry, I didn't heed the chat. Uncle Bot, great to have you in. How are you doing? Comment allez-vous? Hey, I'm pretty sure that you are a US guy, aren't you? So my French is very, very limited, I have to admit. Yeah, weight loss. So here, I have to assume that I am on a perpendicular course to their course. Then it works. Yeah, I think weight loss is a real kind of language genius. So, weight loss English is perfect. And I know that he is also speaking Spanish and obviously also French, although I would never be able to judge whether it is good or bad. My Spanish is not existent. My French is so very basic. I actually never had French at school, only English. Yeah, well, yep. Yeah, English is perfectly fine for me, but there is no other language that I am actually in command of, I have to admit. Okay, so you do have thunderstorms going on at your place, so I hope it would not do too much damage. So which distance would we get from this guesstimation here? Well, it says even more.
Entfernung zum Ziel. 4, 2, 3, 7 Meter. Gegnerlage 3, 4, Bug links.
All right, it's coming in. Yeah, I know, you do know a little bit of German, or maybe even a bit more of German, don't you? So what about Captain Jimbo? When did he stream the last time? Do you have that on the radar? Okay, so the targeting computer is pretty nice. Well, even back then, when there were no electronic computers available, they had some kind of mechanical calculators which tracked the angle on bow once it was entered. Now distance guesstimate.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel. 2, 7, 6, 1 Meter.
60 degrees. Is it consistent? 1.8. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, and I find that pretty fascinating. Yeah, that's pretty alright. So you're also, yeah, so you could go together with weight loss, but I'm not quite sure about that ranking. What is it about A? Yeah, that's the problem, yeah. This knowledge from school, yeah. I was thinking about A is the basic, yeah. I think B is okay-ish and C is kind of close to native speaking or something. I don't know. Yeah, okay, elementary, middle, close to native, something like that. Yeah. And then D, yeah. Yeah, I think, although I think myself to be a decent, yeah, to be in decent command of the English language, but probably if I would actually do a D test, I would be pretty disappointed how much I would actually fail it.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel. 2, 1, 8, 6 Meter.
Okay, 50 should be more like 50 plus 40 is 90, so it's more like that. I have no idea. I have to admit.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
Yeah, I would actually be curious where I would end up with my English knowledge in this ranking. Yeah, but as I said, I would probably be disappointed that I would actually finally end up worse than I would think myself to be. Always, yeah, there is always these situations where I recognize that I actually reach the limits of my English knowledge. Yeah, but nevertheless, I really love the English language. I have been reading a lot of books in English, and I do have a few favorite podcasts which I listen to on my way to work, which actually is usually always, almost up to 1 hour of drive. So I do have a little bit of time to practice. $45. So that would be 60.55, right? Yeah, okay, that looks good. And what about the distance? Maybe I should get a little bit closer.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel. 1,668 Meter.
Let's...
Lage 5,6 Bug links.
Oh yeah, so that took a hell lot of time, so I'm pretty sure that I have to do some maintenance. Torpedo 3.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Oh shit, so I did completely miss to maintain the torpedoes. Hey, Isley! Nice to have you in. Hi, how are you doing? Yeah, have you? Yeah, okay. So I would actually have laughed if the English would have won the match, but yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, I usually listen to podcasts on Spotify, but my problem is I don't have that account to get audiobooks on Spotify. So maybe I never checked that. I wasn't aware that I could also do audiobooks on Kindle. I'm gonna have to check that. Would be nice. Well, actually, I've been reading the first 4, 5, or 6 of the Aubrey series. I mean, actually reading it, but yeah, and I did read it in the original in English. But shit, no. What about the maintenance status? Would be nice to continue that. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna pick that idea up, definitely. So at the moment, the 2 torpedoes which are well maintained is 2 and 4, and that should be all right. That should be alright. Give it a save. Just in case that I completely fuck it up. So here we are. What's the draught of the ship? 9. Distance. One last distance check.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel. 1,073 Meter. Rohr 2 bewässern.
Was it? 9 is fine.
Los! Rohr 4 bewässern.
Rohr 4 bewässert.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Lage 9,4 Bug links. Los!
So, 2 torpedoes away. Sorry, I'm a bit busy. Gonna read your comments in a minute.
Ja.
So,
20 Sekunden bis zum
yeah, let's see. This might be a good one.
30 Sekunden. 40 Sekunden bis zum
Now, just fingers crossed that it's not gonna be a dud.
30 Sekunden. 10 Sekunden bis Einschlag.
And there we are. Wow, yeah. In the middle.
Ja.
What about the other one? Yeah. That's it. For sure. It came home, yeah. Aisley, yeah. I don't know. I think I would have liked them to win. Actually, I'm pretty disappointed that the French didn't do it. The French team was great, so it was pretty bad chance. They were not in good shape when they actually dropped out. I would have loved the French to do it.
Rohr 2 geladen.
I didn't age well.
Rohr 4 geladen.
Die Besatzung evakuiert das.
Yeah, actually, the Belgians did pretty well. I mean, it's always about the size of a country. I mean, if you're a small country, you have relatively few citizens, and then the probability of creating good football players is much smaller. So this is what I always think. The more inhabitants you have in your country, the more probable it is that you can set up a good football team. So if a small country like Belgium gets as far as it got this time, that's pretty amazing. Or Norway, actually. So I guess that Norway probably has roughly the same number of people, the same population as Belgium, would be my guess. Yep. Yeah. So Belgium is actually one of the teams which I would have really loved to see getting further. So they are abandoning ship, which means
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten
we
setzen.
can
Anlage.
get to the surface.
Aktuelle Tiefe 10 Meter.
So, yeah. I don't want to show off, but let me mention that I'm playing on maximum difficulty level. So, this is always a bit of a challenge.
Auf diese Motoren wechseln.
So you do have to have a minimum precision in determining these figures, and obviously this time we did it all right again.
Diese Koordinaten setzen.
There they are. It's going down, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Cape Verde. They did. Yeah, that was so amazing that if you put it to a ratio, yeah, how far they went and put it to a ratio to the population, then they really did well, yep. Going down.
Alle Maschinen stopp.
Yeah, let's send the message to the headquarters.
Raum besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Lifeboat 1. And lifeboat 2. And what about... Come on, get the sausages on board. Another type of food would serve the crew well in terms of motivation, discipline. Hey Isley, by the way, I'm not quite sure. Did you already have that techno festival? Must be somewhere in the summer, right? Or are you already through that one? Get the sausages, please, and bring them to the galley. No. No, it's just 5,000 tons. One more ship, and we have finished the whole mission set. Ah, oh god, yeah. Okay, it starts tomorrow, yeah. Pre-festival party. It's 2 weeks, right? I think you said it's 2 weeks.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Herr Kaloy? Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy. Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
So you have the earplugs ready.
Halbe Fahrt voraus. Kurs setzen.
Yeah, they are not sufficient then, yeah. Yeah, well, weight loss. I was so amazed how well Cape Verde actually did perform. Yeah, in comparison to India and China, yeah. Through the ground, yeah, the bass thumping and thumping. Wow, yeah. Yeah, same for me. I mean, it might be a decent branch of the art, but it's actually not quite up my alley. Now, shall we do another hydrophone check? There should be still contacts around.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Discipline is fine. Yeah, there we are going down. Off-watch crew running to the fore compartment, giving additional diving ballast. Yes, how much is the fish? How much is the fish? That reminds me of one event. So it is quite some years ago, but
Aktuelle Tiefe
back then, a friend of mine and me, we had, well, let me say, we were in contact with two girls who were working in an advertising company, and they frequently came up with free tickets for American football in Düsseldorf. And I remember one event, we went there, and well, actually, I have to admit that I was minimum interested in American football, but I was maximum interested to spend the evening with the girls in the Düsseldorfer Altstadt, in the pub quarters. And yeah, there was this football match when they actually, there was a helicopter coming in, and Scooter was coming out of the helicopter and playing something like "How much is the fish?" getting into the helicopter again and going away out of the Rheinstadion.
55 Meter.
How can I not be a fan of that one? And well, actually, I think I guess that most of the fan community of electronic music would be pretty insulted if you would reduce it to Scooter. That's my guess, at least. But as I said, this is definitely not in my wheelhouse.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr
Feuchter
Kalon.
Nebel steiget. Mein Tagwerk ist getan. Mein Tagwerk ist getan.
Yeah, we have accumulated quite a bit of water in the bilge. So do we get any contacts?
Herr Kaloin,
This one. Yeah, let's delete.
Herr Kapitän.
Yeah, that's probably that guy.
Peilung 350 Grad.
One more.
Herr Kapitän.
Okay, that could be these other guys, and there might be still a chance that it's not just a fisherman. Maybe we could get our tonnage tonight. Let's see. Yeah, okay, alright. So yeah, get your sleep as long as you can. So I'm gonna do some streaming in the next days. Gonna do some late night streaming. So It would be great to have you in, and as you probably just wouldn't get any sleep, so don't hesitate to drop in for our little stream here. Would be a pleasure to have you. Have a good night.
Jawohl.
Yeah, that would be just too great if we could sink another ship. So just any ship should be sufficient to actually reach the final goal. We are so close. And we still have a few torpedoes left. Four torpedoes, perfectly fine to sink one or two more ships.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 150 Grad.
Another one, okay.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
Oh, come on. Another one there.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
No information whether it's closing in or moving away.
Meter.
So this guy could be a serious contact.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Große Fahrt voraus.
Jawohl,
20 to 4. To 5. Let's give it another hydrophone check here.
Auf 50
And excuse me, guys, I have to be AFK just for 1 minute.
Meter. Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Meter.
All right, back again.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
Oh, it's 2 o'clock a.m. around here, and it's still so warm. We really have a hot period around here. And no contact yet.
Meter.
Yeah, come on, guys. There is contacts around. Give me their position. Give me their updated position. Yeah, by the way, when we are back to the surface, we have to remember to turn on the pump for a few minutes to get that water out of the bilge. This is completely uncritical, it's just accumulating there over time. Pretty realistic. No boat, at least no boat with an outside hatch, is 100% tight. Yeah, I don't know, nowadays they are maybe. So weight loss, what's your experience from a modern frigate or some similar ship? Do you still have that situation that you do accumulate water in the bilge? I mean, it could even just be condensed water or whatever. Yeah, you still have that. Yeah, okay. I am relieved that you say, of course, because that would be my expectation. You always have water coming in somehow, somewhere. Or, well, or it would even just be condensation on the cold surfaces of the steel. Yep. Engines. Yeah, just everything. But don't we get...
Herr Kapitän?
Hey, come on, guys. Please. There must be this contact. Well, this contact here definitely is a fisherman, so we could well ignore it, but I'm not sure about that one. Never, ever, ever be catching fire. But yeah, at least it's kind of contagious stuff that you have to deposit separately, right? You probably are not allowed to just pump it out of the ship. That would be my expectation. Guys, give me, please, the position, particularly of that guy. And then we had that other guy, but yeah, okay, it might have been moved out of our range. But this guy must still, it still needs to be somewhere around.
Anblasen. Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 25 Meter.
Alright, getting back to the surface and let's turn on the pump.
5 Meter.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln. Lenzpumpe einschalten.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yeah, well. What an ado. Ah, well, I just recognized that I forgot to get my glass of water refilled. So time is 4:45. Let's go for 1 hour and then do another hydrophone check, but be back in less than a minute. Yeah, it would have been so nice if we got one more opportunity to sink just one single ship, and with that we would have finished the whole mission. We are just missing a bit less than 5,000 tons to sink. Just any ship should do that.
Schornsteinrauch. Heilung. 330 Grad.
That might be this guy. Can I figure it out visually already? Yeah, it's a merchant, very good. And guess is that it is this guy, but not quite. Let's give it a save, and then let's do some hydrophore check to get the exact position.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Yeah, maybe we should try to scare these guys away from their ship once more. Yeah, like there was this comment on YouTube by Ivan. Thanks for interacting, by the way. And you're perfectly right. And we would have quite some high probability that these guys would just give up as soon as we turn up and signal them that we are gonna sink the vessel.
Aktuelle Tiefe.
Seemotoren wechseln.
Sunset, how beautiful. Yeah.
Alarm beenden.
Yeah, I need that mod.
25 Meter.
Herr Kapitän.
Aktuelle Tiefe 50 Meter.
There we are. Ship propeller.
Kurs setzen.
Could it be like that? Maybe. Let's go for
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
periscope depth and check the situation. How far?
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung.
4 miles, pretty close. More contacts.
45 Meter.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin?
That's this one. That's probably the fisherman. I'm pretty sure.
25 Meter.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Herr Kaloy, wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für Rundblick eingesteuert. Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 60 Grad. Ja,
Yeah, that's him. "60 degrees. We still have daylight, which is good." Yeah, might be 60 degrees. Angle on bow would be 30 by then. Now, which type of ship is it? It's not this one, because it doesn't have masts on the quarterdeck. It's not this one, because it doesn't have a hut behind the chimney. But I'm pretty sure that it is this guy. Velocity, I don't know, let's give it a guess to 7. And the angle on bow then would be something like 30 degrees, right?
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Winkel 4-0, Bug links.
Distance. Maybe something like 7,000 meters.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung 7-0-0-0 Meter. Lage 3-0, Bug links.
Schraubengeräusch. Handelsschiff. Peilung 250 Grad.
Alle Maschinen, stopp!
Let's give it a try. If we can scare them away.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Anblasen.
Aktuelle Tiefe 10 Meter.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yeah, let's see that we intercept these guys.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Okay.
Kurs setzen. Kurs setzen. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Let's see if we can convince them, although they have been given alarm.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Okay, they don't abandon their ship. Distance right now.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung 3, 2, 3 Meter. Rohr 1 bewässern.
Rohr 1 bewässert.
Los! 30 Sekunden. Rohr 2 bewässern. 20 Sekunden. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Winkel 1, 1, 0, Bug links. 30 Sekunden.
Let's see, that was a bit too much from the hip.
Getroffen. Los! Schwere Schäden.
Wow. We got him. Did we?
Bis einschalten. Langsame Fahrt voraus.
Okay, that was a miss, I guess. Okay. Serious damage. Did we get him with that? It said serious damage.
Halbe Fahrt voraus. Kurs setzen.
Looks like they are sinking actually. That doesn't look good for them. Yeah, that was pretty good to have that hit.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
pretty much look like they are going down. Out of ammo, alright. So, Mr. Schultz, you can step away.
Langsame Fahrt
Are
voraus.
they? Yeah, that pretty much looks like they are sinking. Do the propellers still working? But they are sinking, aren't they? Right, let me be AFK for 1 minute, and fingers crossed that when I'm back, they are going down. They are not sinking, are they?
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Langsame Fahrt zurück. Halbe Fahrt voraus. Äußerste Kraft voraus. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Kurs setzen. diese Koordinaten setzen. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Kurs setzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Langsame Fahrt voraus. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Aktualisieren. Entfernung 4, 5, 1 Meter. Gegnerlage 1, 1, 9 rechts. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
You are off work for 6 weeks? Is it good news or bad news? I mean, is it just holiday or... But anyway, not wet, just cold. It's a pleasure to have you in the stream. Yeah, I did hit that guy with one torpedo, and now
Kurs setzen.
it was not sufficient to sink them, and I don't have any... Okay, great news. Congratulations, that's good. That's just great. And yeah, so I did score a good hit, but they are not sinking. They are not sinking. So I'm gonna try to send it some... Yeah, give it the stern torpedo.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren.
Now,
Winkel 1, 4, 5 rechts.
7, 5.
Rohr 5 bewässern.
Rohr 5 bewässert.
Los!
Now, let's see if this is gonna do it. So this is one of the sound-seeking torpedoes. It should home in. Let's see if this is sufficient. Usually my experience is that they do pretty few damage. You think so? You think that they are sinking? You think that they are thinking? You think that they are sinking? All right. At the moment, it doesn't quite look like that.
40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag.
Yes. The German Coast Guard, yeah.
30 Sekunden.
So that guy was freshly maintained. And like usual, it's just minimal damage. And the propeller's still running.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Diese besetzen. Äußerste Kraft voraus.
At the moment, it doesn't quite look like they intend to go down. What about... Ah,
Jawohl, wir haben unsere Position erreicht. Kurs setzen. Halbe Fahrt aus.
no, they're just not gonna sink.
Kurs setzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Still-
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel 603 Meter. Winkel 84 links. Geschwindigkeit 5 Knoten. Rohr 4 bewässern.
Rohr 4 bewässert.
Los! 40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag. 30 Sekunden.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Ja. 10 Sekunden bis
Fingers crossed. Come on, that was not well maintained. It could be a dud. Fire on board, that's good. Serious damage. So maybe with that one we are gonna sink him.
Die Besatzung evakuiert das Schiff.
Very good.
Alle Maschinen, stopp!
Alright. So finally we got that guy. And let's just hope that this will be enough. 5,000 tons in average. That might be it. That might be the missing 5,000 tons to finish that scenario. Yeah, so now, sorry, not wet, just cold. I was not quite able to, in parallel, heed your comments. That's great. So, you do have 6 weeks off. Great. That's wonderful. Yeah, actually, for me, I was pretty busy at work for the last, say, 2, 3, 4 months. I had a hell lot of work, and now it looks like for the next, say, 1 or 2 months it might be a little bit relaxed. So I might be doing more streams than I used to do for the last weeks and months. Yeah, it's going down. That's good, so let's give the save. Do we already have it registered for the mission? Oh, we are still missing. Oh no. Oh no, we are still missing something like 280 tons. Come on. And we are really running out of ammo. Just having 1 torpedo left. So guys, if I look at the time, I think let's call it a day for now. But let's see if there is anybody there worthwhile to raid. Oh no, not tonight. Not tonight. So thank you guys for being in. We were pretty successful. That was bad luck that this ship was just for something like 300 tons too small to actually give us reaching our final target. But I'm sure we're gonna reach it in the next stream. So it was a pleasure to have you in, and it's late around here, 2:45, so I'm gonna have to turn in. Yeah, I'm gonna stream the next days, and looking forward to see you. Bye bye. Let me not forget to give it another save, and yeah, see you maybe tomorrow.